3, 2, 1.
Okay, to create the plus shape, I'm going to go ahead and start a sketch on the top of my lid, zoom into a location. Now all the blocks are tied to the origin. You don't have to tie this to the origin. The tool I would use to create the plus is actually called a center rectangle. We're going to actually draw it much like a circle in that we'll pick a center point and we'll click a corner and dimension it later. So you get it by going to corner rectangle and selecting center rectangle underneath. I'm going to click to pick the center and pull up to make a taller, skinnier rectangle, and I'm going to click. I'm going to stay with my center rectangle. I'm going to start at the exact same starting point, and this time I'm going to pull out in the other direction so that I can create both shapes. I'll go ahead and turn that tool off and use trim and trim to closest to trim out the 4 lines, the multiple line segments I no longer need. These are the ones that divide my plus sign internally. Once I do that, I'm going to use my Smart Dimension tool and start to match some of these dimensions. Shows me that this one is a 1-inch dimension, as is this. And because the way I've drawn it, to get it to fully define, I do not have to do this measurement out here. It will tell me that those are over-defined. Now, I am going to go overall 2 inches. Because as you can see from the center up here, it's 1 inch, so that means overall it's 2. It's also going to be 2 in the other direction from there to here. Once I've done that, I can do my spacing. I don't actually need to do that. The reason this is not fully defined yet is because I have not given it a place to live. So I'm going to tell it in this example to be 1 1/4 from the edge there and 1 1/4 from the edge over here. You would use whatever measurements you need. If I was looking directly on it, you'd see it looks more like a plus sign. Now I have to round all the corners to match. To do this, I'm going to click Sketch Fillet. I'm going to leave the dimension at 0.1, and I am going to click all the points, both the outside points to round outside corners and the inside points to round inside corners, all the way around my shape. Again, it is easier to do it here, clicking on these dots, than it is spinning the shape around, trying to get all of these edges once this hole has been cut. So I do all of those, I accept it, changes none of my dimensions, but adds a lot of relations. That sketch is now complete. So if I exit my sketch, I will now be able to switch over and extrude cut through all to cut the hole for the block.